Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? So in this beautiful video, we wanted to respond to a gorgeous comment that we received, and we couldn't wait to get here and respond to this gorgeous comment. It just brought up so much as I was reading it. My angels were just flooding me with all this beautiful information to share. Now, this gorgeous comment goes like this. So it'll show up on the screen for you. The first part says, how about all the things we were never taught? And by the time we found out, we've sinned so many times that there's no chance, maybe purgatory at best, but most likely hell. So the first thing that was coming up as we received this comment is that, yes, many of us have grown up in these religions. I grew up as a Catholic. And, you know, my mum would take us to Catholic church every Sunday. She was a devoted Catholic. And we were taught about sin, and we were taught about hell and the devil and all of these things. But through my awakening, I discovered that there is no such thing as sin. There is just experience. We are the ones that give it meaning. We are the ones that decide that it is right or wrong or good or bad. But to the soul, the experience is neither. The soul has no judgment about your experiences. It is just observing and taking in all the beautiful information, all the wisdom that you are gaining from these beautiful experiences. So know within your heart that they are not sins, they are just experiences that you are having as a human here in this world. And then the next comment was, how about the blind man that Jesus healed and told his disciples that he was born blind for this reason? So wait, you created a man to be blind all the way into his adulthood so you can use him as a source for a miracle. And then it says WTF. In question mark, you know. I found this part really beautiful as well. Yes, the blind man, his soul had chosen to be blind. You know, some souls choose to be blind throughout the whole lifetime to have that experience and to gain that knowledge, that wisdom. What does it feel like to not be able to see the world? You know, what is that experience like? The soul is fascinated by all of our experiences. To the soul, nothing is bad, nothing is wrong. It just is the experience that the beautiful soul chose to have in this lifetime. There was so much coming up with this beautiful comment. I'm so grateful to this person that posted this question. These questions, there are so many things to unravel in this beautiful comment today. So, yes, we are all here serving each other in every moment. That man, that blind man, had a soul contract with Jesus, that he would be blind up until the point that Jesus would heal his blindness, would give him his sight back. He was part of what Jesus was here to bring forward. We have this ability to heal at any time. That man, the blind man, he had already gained all the information he needed to gain for his soul from that experience. That blindness no longer served him. And for this reason, he was able to be healed. Because the question then becomes, well, why do some people heal and others don't? And it's everything to do with, yes, you can have the faith. You know, if you believe, like, you know, there were so many that just believed that Jesus had this healing ability, and just that belief was enough to heal them. But on the other side of that coin, there's not just the belief that, yes, this man can heal me from whatever it is that I'm suffering from, whatever ailment it is that you have. On the other side of that coin, that soul has already finished with that experience. It's done. It has already served its purpose, whatever that experience was. There are many videos here where I talk about we are a blessing to others in every moment. We are serving others constantly in every moment with our presence, always. Even when we are unkind to others, we are still serving their experience. In a moment that someone gets upset, it's a moment that, well, I'm upset about that. I can sit there and just be upset about that. Or I can look at, well, wait a minute. Why am I upset about that? Why did this bring up this feeling in me? What is trying to come up for me that needs healing, that needs resolving, that this person has in that moment brought to the surface, this feeling? When you are kind to others, when you assist others, it's easy to see that, yes, you are a blessing. But for me, it took a very long time to see that even when we are unkind, when we are mean to others, we are still serving their experience as well as ours. Because what comes out of that when you are mean to others, when you really look at yourself and where you are, the place you're in your life, you'll understand that you can only hurt others when you are hurting inside. And the moment you have this realization within yourself that you hurt others when you are hurting inside, you begin to see it in others as well. Those that are unkind to you, those that are rude to you, those that treat you like less. There is something inside of them that is causing them to treat you this way. There is something unhealed, unresolved. Usually it's a belief that we hold about ourselves that isn't true. A belief perhaps that we are unworthy of being loved, unworthy of being seen, of being heard for who we are. We don't deserve the love of others, the attention of others. All of these beliefs come up when others trigger us. So that beautiful blind man was serving Jesus and all the people that were witness to that beautiful miracle. But even before coming here, they would have forged a soul contract to say that I will do this for you because it will serve others. So, what was coming up that I digressed with the you're a blessing to everyone is that when a disease or a physical ailment isn't cured, it's because it hasn't finished serving that soul's journey yet. The soul already maps out what it wants to do before it comes here and takes physical form. It already knows exactly what it wants to experience. And so if it is through a disease that the soul has chosen, I want to see what that is like. What is the experience when you are in that? And then the soul is gaining all this beautiful information, gaining all this knowledge. There are many videos here that talk about the soul gaining knowledge. That is the purpose. That is why it's here. One thing is to have an idea of, oh, what is it like to have Parkinson? What is this Parkinson? What is this dementia? What is this to the soul? The soul is curious. What is it? And so it chooses, well, let's try that in this lifetime and see. Let's find out. And it's not until the soul has this physicality, this human body, that it can have that experience and know firsthand what it is like to have Parkinson, to have dementia, to have whatever other disease, cancer, whatever it is that was chosen before coming here. The soul is constantly gathering information, gathering knowledge, gathering wisdom. And with each lifetime, the soul expands. So that is the reason that many times a disease is not cured in a lifetime. Yes, many times there are miracles and the disease can be healed, it can be cleared, and the human can go on to have a different experience. But that is only when the soul has attained everything it needed to know about that experience. Only then can the soul say, okay, I am done here. Let's move on. So, there is more to this beautiful comment. We're almost there. So the next part was, I have been abandoned by the Christian God and all its limitations and restrictions. I'm finally on my path to becoming my authentic self. How beautiful. It's not that we're abandoned by the Christian God. It's that we no longer need that. It's no longer serving our journey, our experience. You know, I didn't get a name for this beautiful person. I just had initials. But for a very long time, I was so angry at the church, at the Catholic Church, because they made us feel so guilty, so worthless. And I was so little. You know, when my mum started taking me to church, I was about 4. And I remember being 8, 9, 10. And just sitting there listening to the words, to the sermons, to everything. And when I got older, you know, I would sit there and think, why? Why would you make a child feel that way? You know, a child is so innocent, so pure of heart. What malice could possibly be in the heart of an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old child? You know? So for a long time, I was really angry with the church about how they made me feel. But my greatest resentment towards them was that we were taught that we were separate from God. It was just the teaching that we were separate from God, and that these, you know, he's this being that's all high and mighty and ready for judgment day, and as you say, limitations and restrictions, you know, Christian God filled with limitations and restrictions. And it wasn't until my awakening, and many years after my awakening, it was one of the last things that I was able to release, I understood that I came here to feel separate from God. That was one of my main experiences in this lifetime. Outside of here, I can't have that experience. We are connected. Even here, we are connected. But the illusion of this human experience is that we are separate from spirit, from God, whatever it is you want to call it. You know, for so long, I couldn't even use the word God. It felt so negative to me because of all the heaviness, all the density that this word carried for me for my whole life. It took a long time before I was able to use the word God. And even now, for many, I still use the word spirit to avoid that. You know, yes, if it triggers some, then sit with it. If it triggers you, this beautiful word, just sit with why. Why does it trigger you? Are you also angry that you were taught that you're separate? All the while inside, you know There's a knowing that you're not. You're not separate. You are like the wave in the ocean. As much as the wave comes out of the ocean to display itself in all its wonder, it never separates from the ocean. It's always connected. And so are we. We are always connected to spirit, always. We never separate. So, my beautiful being, we are so grateful for this comment today. It brought up so much, of the things that I've already been through and the beautiful, awakenings that I've had since, of our souls and their journeys. And it's all perfect. Wherever you are right now is where you're meant to be right now in this moment. It is perfect. It is where your soul needs you to be for its experience. So in the next video, we'll talk more about this because there's something else that wants to come up and I get a feeling it's going to be another long one. So let us know how this makes you feel, what comes up for you. If there are more questions, but there will be more videos regarding this because there was a lot coming up as I was reading it, a lot. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the beautiful messages that come through. And thank you so, so much for this gorgeous comment today, for sharing, because everything that comes through serves all of us. All of us. It also serves me on my journey. So thank you so much. Bye for now.